What up, good people? Welcome to the Gems in the Gym Arena. For those who don't know who I am Cameo Williams, the founder, director, CEO of Gems in the Gym Incorporated. Want to come here and tell you guys a little bit about myself, about what I do, how long I've been doing it. I've been in this business either coaching at different levels or scouting at different levels on the girl/women's side since 1994. My background, obviously, I've played basketball, but my background is a lot of coaching. I've gone through all the ranks of coaching from middle school, national junior basketball, AAU basketball, junior college, consulted at the Division II level, and even coached in the FIBA semi-pro league. And so I have an extensive background in basketball as a player, as a coach, as an observer, as an assistant coach, as a head coach. And throughout those years, I've gained a lot of friends, a lot of acquaintances, a lot of connections as I've networked all the way around the world at this point. And so on this side of the game, what got me on this side was from coaching, just trying to connect players to colleges as a coach. And what I found was people were creating businesses and creating a niche as far as evaluating and scouting. And so I've been on this side of the game about 18 years, where I've just been evaluating, really getting to the gym. I'll sit there all day, and just see what catches my eye. And people ask me a lot of the times, what am I looking for? And the best way I can explain is I'm looking for something different. I'm looking for something different. And what does different mean? And different means a lot of different things. For example, you may be different from a size standpoint. That's different than most of the players I see. You may be different in an athletic standpoint than most of the players I see. Or it may be your skill or a combination of those things. Those are things that I want to get to the gym. I want to see you, evaluate you, assess you multiple times, and then connect you to college coaches. That is ultimately, what I do. And it doesn't matter what team you play for. It doesn't matter what gym you're in, even what division you're in. I like to actually scout. There's not a lot of people who actually scout. They'll say they're a scout, but a scout means I don't care who you play for. I'm just going and I'm going to sit on court 1, 2, 3, 4, and something's going to catch my eye because I have a philosophy. And that philosophy is every single team has a best player. Every team has a best player, a second best player. It's my job to identify who that is, what they can do well, where I project them to be with development, coaching, training, and ultimately assessing what level I think they can matriculate at, and then connect them to that level of college coaches. Can people exceed, what I see? Absolutely. Am I pretty good at what I do? I like to think so, but you can ask different parents, coaches, college coaches, club coaches, because ultimately they're going to determine that. They're going to determine that by how they value me, how they respect me, how they use the information that I go ahead and provide to them. So from a parent standpoint, how do you kind of navigate the waters, of scouts and recruiters? Because you'll hear that term. You may hear scout, you may hear evaluator, you may hear recruiter, right? And they can be different things. A scout, you're going to scout, just like it says. Think of a Boy Scout. I'm going and trying to find some things of use. Evaluation is just that. I may already know who you are, right? This may be my third time seeing you, but how you looked in the fall may be different than how you look in the spring. Be that improvement or stagnation, or maybe you've regressed. I'm evaluating where you are. What do you do well? Where do I think you can be, with work? So that's an evaluation. Scout, you're finding. Evaluated, you're assessing, right? A recruiter may be connecting people. Sometimes there's a fee. You'll see a bunch of services, that may email you. And I can tell you the good ones or bad ones. I can tell you, if you do your research and they're reputable, that in this game with everything so saturated, and college coaches not being able to go out as many times as they used to be able to go out. The live period has been reduced. It's been condensed. So there's less days that they can actually go out and see people during the live period. So that means a scout / evaluator has become more valuable. So anytime you can have a reputable, so what I want to say, a reputable, a known, somebody with integrity, you find one that can be an advocate for you, that helps you exponentially. And if you're concerned about paying, you're going to pay somebody. You're either going to pay because you didn't pay somebody and did get seen by the right amount of people, or you're going to pay somebody that can really be an advocate for you and really be a connector for you. And what is that worth to you? You know, some of these scholarships, when you count in all the resources, tuition and dorms and travel and experiences that you get over 4 years, you're talking about $200,000+ in value, right? In value. So if you're going to pay somebody $300, $500, $1,000, but you end up getting that scholarship, hey, that sounds like a great investment. And so whether you're well off, whether you do well with your money or not, I think you'd like to keep that savings if you could. You know, the way you were saving it for them to go to college and pay and do whatever, go ahead and keep that money, you know, or give it to your son or daughter to invest in a house or whatever and get them ahead in life. And so this whole thing is an investment. So we talked about what I do, right? How long I've done it, what is a scout, what is a recruiter, and the value of that, right? And you guys got to determine that for yourself in terms of, is that a good value for you? And with that said, one of the questions I get asked a whole lot, and I'm happy that you guys have come to the Gyms in the Gym Arena and I can give you this good information. One of the questions that I get asked a lot is, does it matter what club team you play for? Does it matter what circuit you play for? And I hate to be ambiguous, but that answer is a yes and a no. It's a yes and a no. The yes is obviously if I'm on a known platform that traditionally college coaches go and they're sitting on them baselines, then it can matter. Obviously, you kind of hedge your bets a little bit, right? What is a circuit? It's like a league. A circuit would be Power 24, which Select Events does. A league would be the Nike EYBL. It's a league. Adidas 3SSB circuit. Under Armour UA circuit. Those are circuits guaranteed to have some people on the baseline. So, you know, if you're playing in those elite levels, chances are, you know, there's going to be people on those baselines. But you don't have to, right? You can be independent. The thing with being an independent is, are you playing with other scholarship people on your team, right? Either you're a scholarship level prospect, and how do I know that? Because that means some colleges have, you know, email your coach, had you to call them. You've been in contact with them. So you're getting actively recruited, right? You're a recruitable player. If that's not happening for you yet, and you're like, okay, how can I really be seen? You know, can I contact somebody like Cameo? And, hey, Cameo, can you assess my game? Can you look at the film? Can you come to my game on Saturday? Let me know what you think. I may be like, man, I haven't seen you, but I just saw you could play. And at that point, I'm texting and calling people that's in my network, that have my service, that I do business with. And I'm going to say, hey, man, you still looking for a guard in the 25 class? Hey, man, I found one for you. I don't know if it's going to work for you, right? Because coaches have styles that they like. So I will give them the information. They may say, hey, man, put me on the phone with them. That's somebody I could use. Hey, it can happen like that. So that's why it's a yes and no. It's a yes and that, hey, man, I want to go out there, guarantee myself that I'm going to be seen. The problem with being seen, right, is everybody wants exposure. Everybody wants exposure. It's a tricky thing about exposure. Here's the tricky thing. Some of you have been overly exposed. You've been overly exposed. And as my creative director here that's behind the camera can tell you, being overly exposed is not a good thing. What do I mean by overly exposed? I'll hear, man, I don't know why I'm not getting a scholarship, man. The people sleeping on me. They sleeping on me, man. I don't know. These college coaches are tripping. Susie got a scholarship and I'm way better. than suits him. Well, let's just go through the numbers. If you played elite basketball, you've been on the circuit, a circuit. Let's just say typically a good prospect has been on the circuit 8th grade year, 9th grade year, 10th grade year, 11th grade year. That's 4 years. 4 years, you're probably going to play 20 to 25 games in front of coaches. So the problem is not that they didn't see you. They saw you over 100 times. There's something in your game that the majority of college coaches, they figure they can't use. There's just somebody that's better. Now, it's true you only need one to say, hey, man, I see what you can do. I value that. But that means there's something in your game that needs fixing. You know, get with your trainer, get with a coach, get with an unbiased person to really assess. And they may say, you know what, that left hand is really weak. You're going to have to play point guard at the next level. You used to just trying to score. You got to be able to handle the basketball under pressure. You can't just sit in the corner and shoot the jumper and they want you to play point guard, right? So those are things that you could tighten up. But if you tighten them up, there's an opportunity, you know, for you, because everybody's journey is different. And sometimes you may start at the JUCO level. If you go to the right JUCO, it can work out perfect. You know, if you go to the right JUCO. You can go to NAIA, you can go Division II, Division III. There's multiple ways to get to your dreams, right? You have to be open to those ways. And more so than ever, you're seeing people matriculate up from different levels. You know, they're starting at NAIA and finishing at a full scholarship D2. They're starting at D2, and because of the portal, they had a great freshman D2 year. And now the Division I see you in the portal, and they're like, yo, you know what? Yeah, we probably should have got you out of high school, but we want you now, right? So there's so many different opportunities. Don't close those doors. Don't close those doors. Be open, be transparent, right? Is it a blow that you've been on every mixtape and your social media is fire, but you may have to start at the junior college down the street? Humble yourself. Go get in the lab, get better, identify what are those weaknesses that didn't get you recruited. Tighten those up, go show that, be a grinder, be grimy on the court, be consistent and be productive, right? And then, you know, you can go ahead and get your worth. So that's how we want to start off, you know, Gyms in the Gym Arena. Welcome you guys in here. I see some of y'all got suites, box seats. I see the people up in the luxury boxes, you know, but we welcome everybody in here. And now what we want to end up doing is telling you guys a little bit about the Myles McGowan Coaches Classic and Fresh Faces, which we just did. And so at Gyms and Gym, one of our biggest event, a passion project, also still an exposure event, is the Myles McGowan Coaches Classic. All right. The Myles McGowan Coaches Classic, we just completed our 18th year. It started out as like a jamboree format where we wanted to bring AAU, any non-Division I coach in. We're going to network. We're going to play a game. We're going to fraternize. Hey, if there's any beefs out there, let's squash that. Show some solidarity collectively for the community, for the kids to see, for other coaches to see, and show we can function as one. And the first year we had 8 people. That's what we had. That was it. But my best friend Al Ados, a junior, his pops passed. Rest in heaven, big Al Ados, you know, Golden State Warrior legend. We decided, I was like, man, we're gonna do this, right? So what we ended up doing at Benicia High School, we went ahead, we closed the gym because nobody came. Everybody promised to come and nobody showed up. So we closed the gym, and I was like, man, you and I are about to play. We're gonna join in to make sure we got 10 to say that we did this event. We had already paid for all this money on concessions and gym rental, and you know what? We went ahead and did it, and it felt good, right? It felt really good, and it was incumbent on me to just improve, right? What did I fault? Was I faulted in marketing? Did I not connect with the right people? You know, and so over the years, we've tightened it up. We tightened it up over the years, and eventually, you know, my godson passed. Myles McGowan passed. He transitioned from cancer at the age of 5. And for a year and a half, you know, it was a struggle with what to say to my best friend. His son passing, he's my godson. And we had a conversation. I won't get into that conversation, but it hit me hard in terms of having to be there and communicate. And a lot of times when people transition and death happens, people don't like talking about mortality. They don't like talking about death. I've gotten a lot better at it because I remember asking my best friend, man, I didn't know what to say. I really didn't know what to say, man. What do you tell somebody they've lost? And he was like, God damn it, say something. And so that changed me. And so ultimately we went from the event being just a coach's classic and doing things, stop the violence, domestic violence, awareness, shoe drives, to we're going to honor Myles McGowan. And I asked him to could I rename the event in honor of their son? They said yes. And that's how we've been rocking since. Hence you will see the hashtag Myles ahead of cancer. We want to stay ahead of it in communication, in nutrition, in love, right? And being there collectively for one another. And so each year we honor him. We go ahead and honor Myles, and we have a full week of events. Now we've improved since having 8 people that one time. We've improved. And now we have a Spread Love week that leads up into the weekend. So we have a Spread Love Unity Walk around Lake Merritt. That's on that Monday. That Tuesday, we have a Transformational Tuesday. We take out some individuals in the community, do a back-to-school shopping sprees. That Wednesday, we go ahead and we do a free basketball clinic for boys and girls ages 7 to 13. Where we want to pour into them, teach them. It's not about being elite. It's about getting out there, showing them, and just sharing the game that I love with people that just have this youthful exuberance. They're novices. They just want to get out there. And I love it. And so we do that on that Wednesday. That Thursday, we do some free haircuts in the community. And then that Friday, the magic happens with the featured group, which are the income rising freshmen for that year. This year was the Fresh Faces 2028 was the featured group. They're the rising freshmen. And you guys saw us live. We talked about a lot of those players already. But those players have a visit with the staff at San Jose State. Shout out April Phillips. Her and her staff, Emily, they were incredible. Very detailed. Everything planned and catered just to those rising freshmen. They had a wonderful experience on that Friday. We have a photo shoot. We have a lot of seminars on the recruiting process. Like we talked about it earlier, we have that there. And so we go over that. And I don't like to speak on it, but the parents say it's a wonderful experience. They say it's an informative experience. It's detailed. And many of them think that Friday night is the best part of the event. And then we get into the games that Saturday after there's a visit to Cal women's basketball. They're in the ACC. This is going to be their first year in the ACC. Shout out Sharman Smith, who showed us love and allowing our platform to come there, and them knowing who the players are, giving them first-class treatment as far as the campus, the program, where the program is, where the program is going. So shout out to Trey, Coach Brian, Eliza, Coach Jennifer Huth. You guys did an amazing job. We thank you. And then we have the games. And these are not your typical AAU throw them together games. They got real coaches, former Division I coaches, Division I players, WNBA players that have come, and they do an amazing job. There's no pressing. They're running actions, and it's real basketball. And we have some amazing standouts. The other day we talked to you about the Fresh Faces 2028, but we had some young people, as well. We had some young people as well, as young as from the class of 2030. And 2 of them I definitely want to speak on just a little more detail. Alea Ward from Lady Legends, just a feisty, tenacious point guard, quick. She gets after it defensively. She's vocal. I just like that she's feisty and tenacious, can handle the ball. She's fearless. So if there was one word I wanted to use, she is fearless, she's competitive, and she does it at an elite level at such a young age. The other one was Ava Ubaka. Ava's good, long, but she can create her own shot. She's unselfish, and she plays with a high IQ, and she's used to playing against players bigger, longer, taller, stronger, and she fits in seamlessly, and she's in the class of 2030. Really, really love the kid. Then we have the 2025 class. We'll go up. We get some of our alumni to come back. And shout out to the 2025s, man. They went 3-0, smacked everybody around, over the weekend. Ella Chris Norris was incredible. 2025 committed to Cal Poly to play for Coach Shannon Stiers. She's just so efficient. Lefty, shoots the ball with range, shoots over 40% from three. She almost looks unassuming out there, but you look up and she done got you buckets, right? She's gotten you buckets. Kendall Dykstra. Kendall Dykstra is intriguing. I say she 5'11". She gonna keep telling me that she's 6 feet, right? Instead, she's like, I'm 6 feet with my shoes on, right? So, but I love her. She sprints the floor, right? She really. Some people you probably take that for granted. I don't take it for granted. I'm in gyms a lot. Kids don't sprint the floor. She's sprinting the floor. She's a high IQ player. She doesn't just stand around. Has great off-ball movement. She can shoot the three, and she's consistently productive. I think she can even be more assertive, but there's going to be a lucky school out there that really, really shows up, and she's going to get one. I know she has an offer from Utah State, and so we'll kind of see how that goes. The 2026 class, we didn't get a chance to talk about that too much. Another player very similar to Kendall Dykstra, Kate Myers. Kate Myers plays for Pleasant Grove, 5'9", really, really smooth, right? Almost looks like you can guard her, but she plays at great angles, right? And she doesn't waste dribbles. She does not waste dribbles, so she's very decisive. When she decides to go, she can go hard, stop on the dime, pull up. She's got the size to shoot over other guards. She had a good weekend. Great Daniels. She's a tweener. And I think that she's going to get a lot of offers. Plays for Woodside Priory for Coach Buck. Also plays for Jason Kidd Select. She's used to playing against good competition. About 6 feet. She really operates well in the intermediate areas. Short corner, the nail, top of the key. Does the dirty work, for the team. She rebounds her area. She'll even rebound outside the area. She can catch, turn and face, jab, pull it up, drive right, left. I think the next step for her would be consistently knocking down the three-point shot. But she has a lot of skills, and she's reliable. Right, she's very, very reliable. Really like her. As far as the 2026s, we talked about the others the other day. So really, really impressed with that. This group, 2027s, 2027 group. One of my favorite groups. One of my favorite groups because they play hard and they're coachable. Right, play hard and they're coachable. Niley Gregory out of the Central Valley goes to Roosevelt High School, about 5'8", plays even bigger than that, tough-minded on the defensive end, really ball hawks, but boy, she can create space on the other end and get a bucket. And she's looking to get a bucket consistently, right? She wants to get a bucket against any and everybody, and she's really good at it. She played extremely well. Peyton Starwalt, their last game got cut short, but for my money, in the 2027 class, she's the best shooter in the country, and it's not even close. Best shooter in the country, shoots it with range, shoots it with quickness, but it's not just a three. Over the last 7-8 months, I've really seen her put the ball on the deck, take what the defense give her, because you got to stay connected to the key at times she comes across half court, and now she's starting to become this dynamic player that can take whatever you guys going to give her, she's going to take it. You long closeout, she recognizes it quick, attacks it, either side, left or right-handed. She can finish in the paint with the floater. She can kick it out with accurate passes. In fact, she just got 2 offers. Portland, I want to say Coach Greg up in Portland, and also Coach Neighbors at Arkansas pulled a SEC offer just this past week. Really, really good. Love Ford out of Oregon, 6'3", just a dog, a flat-out dog. Soft hands, good size. She's got Division I size today as a 2027. Like, today, if that ball touches her hand, she is not dropping the ball. She is going to make a play. You got to deal with her on the inside. Like, that ball go up, you got to find her and hit her because she is rugged and she is determined to go and tenacious about going, relentless about it, about going to get a rebound. Really, really good. And a player that I'm looking to take one more step. She played well, but I'm looking for her to take one more step, and that's Nyla Webster. Nyla's out of Portland, Oregon. She played well. I just have my expectations of that kid is through the roof. You know, she's almost 6 feet. She's long. She's so graceful up and down the court. Covers a lot of ground with a short amount of steps. Really good. She's a slasher. She can slash inside. I've seen her shoot the three. She can shoot the three. You want that release to be quicker, but she knows she could pretty much get to the basket at will. And I'm looking for her to do that even more. But she had a really, really good weekend. And so those were a few of the players that we definitely wanted to catch up with that on our part one we didn't get a chance to talk about, that we wanted to talk about in part two, which leads me into this. I know a lot of the players that were at the event, when we do these recaps or we write articles, shout out to George Courtney, who wrote an article. He was one of the evaluators here from Arizona. Sorten Davis, one of the evaluators who was here from Atlanta, is we can't talk about every single player. And people, oh man, I can't believe, I thought I played well. Well, here's the thing. If I have a service to college coaches, but I give everybody the information on this live, on this recording, on this episode, or in the recap, then they have no reason to have my service. They have no reason. They'll just, I'll just wait till he puts out the free little article, and, you know, we cool. So there's nobody that's going to give every single name. They shouldn't, right? They have to save some or give a general evaluation, because I want to be able to tell the college, because, man, I got 10 more names for you, right? And if they got my service, they want to make sure they're getting some exclusive stuff, right? I shouldn't just be giving it to any and everybody. And so I definitely, for parents, I do want you to be aware of that. So if we didn't mention your kid, it does not mean that they didn't play well. It does not mean that we're not giving this information to college coaches. Speaking for myself, these college coaches could tell you, if you DM them, you guys have way more access than we had 10 years ago. It was hard at that point, harder at that point to really get a hold of college coaches. But now, whether it's email, whether it's a DM on Twitter, X, Instagram, Facebook, they're accessible to get information to them. And so the last question I would get into, in terms of parents ask a lot, like, man, what are some of the things that they may not know on this process, or something that they can do? You are always in control of your child's recruiting. Say that you're always I don't care if you hire me. I don't care if you have an amazing director. I don't care if you have an amazing coach. I'm not leaving 6-figure decisions just for them. You guys can work in concert. You can collaborate. That's great. But this is your responsibility to pay attention, that if your director or coach is like, oh yeah, I talked to Boise, and then, okay, well, follow up. What did Boise say? What coach did you talk to? Hey, can you give me the number and I can give them a call and I could take it from here? That is okay. But don't sit and wait, and now you are rising senior and you're like, oh man, the coach says he's talking to people. How do you know that? Well, how do you know that? So take that into your own hands and be accountable and be responsible to follow up, email, DM. If you're not getting recruited, are you sending out film, right? How are you sending out that film? Are you just going through a Rolodex and sending it to everybody? Or are you are you looking at rosters and determining possibly who's coming back next year? Yes, the transfer portal impacts it. But you can kind of see, if they got a gang of freshman guards and you're a guard, chances are they're going to get a lot of them back for their sophomore year, right? So talk to people like me. Talk to your AU coach. Check and see what they need. If they need what you bring, hey, can I get you this film, right? And do it multiple ways, right? 1 minute clip, highlights. 2 minute clip, a little more highlights, right? If you're a guard, make sure it's showing you defending, right? How are you navigating screens? Are you able to pressure the ball? Are you able to contain ball handlers, not letting them touch the paint? They want that out of their point guards. They call it guard your yard. Can you guard your yard, and is that on film, right? If you're a wing, are you getting to the basket? Are you sprinting the floor, right? Are you able to defend? You are what you can guard. I'm going to say that again. Players, you are what you can guard. Right? I cannot emphasize that enough. So there's a part of this process that you can take ownership with. So 1 minute clip, 2 minute clip, and then a whole game. And have those links there, right? You got the appetizer. You're like, man, let me get 2 more appetizers. That's the 2 minute. And then you give them the entree, right? So now, because the reason they want to see that full game, if they like the appetizer and they like that second appetizer, they're like, man, I need to see a full game, right? They want to look at your body language. They want to look. You had 28 points, and we saw that on the highlights, but did you take 28 shots to get to 28 points, right? When the shots wasn't going in, were your shoulders slumped, were you getting back on defense? What was the interaction with you and your teammates? What was the interaction on the bench with the coach when he yanked you out? Like, they want to see all that because they're making a 6-figure investment in you, right? They want to be able to win, which allows them to keep their job, allows them to get raises, allows them to keep their kids in private school, pay their mortgage. They don't want to take no chances. They want to get as much information as they can about you and your character and your talent and your consistency or lack thereof prior to them making a decision. So want to come here, welcome you guys to the Gems in the Gym Arena, give you guys this information, and we thank you guys. I appreciate it. Until next time, catch you soon. Gems in the Gym. Peace.